Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Truth, where today we are going to talk about football. We're going to talk about my predictions. I'm going to get this video out. I'm going to try to hit it about 10-minute video, real quick, real fast, so that way people can see before today's game, so that way people can see my predictions. So first, we're going to go to that game, actually. It's going to be the Pittsburgh Patriots versus Steelers. Sorry, I know this is really fast, really quick, but I want to drop this video before the game starts. Before the really game gets going, because at least before the end of the first quarter, which I think I can do. I know it's a little fast. I apologize. It's not how we usually do things, but I really want y'all to see my reaction, my prediction to this before the game. So we have the Pittsburgh Steelers against the New England Patriots. New England, Devontae Parker out, Tyron Wheatley injury reserve, Ramondre Stevenson out, Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte, both out. Riley Reef is out. Kendrick Bourne is out. Calvin Austin is out. Matthew Judon is out. Christian Gonzalez is out. Mac Jones is out. It's a lot of guys for the Patriots. Going to the Steelers, scrolling all the way down to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Kenny Pickett is out, so we're going to watch a backup quarterback mashup. Trying to really see Dylan Cook, James Perry, Keanu Neal, Quan Alexander. I'm going to be honest. Normally, I would pick Belichick. I trust Belichick. With Mac Jones being out, give me the Steelers. TJ Watt, I believe, is still healthy. I think that's what's really. I think TJ Watt's gonna have an impactful game for them. Like, I think TJ Watt's gonna win them this game. That defense is gonna win them this game. It's gonna be a close game. Give me the Steelers at home. That's my honest opinion, my honest reaction to it. I honestly think that's what's gonna happen. Don't think it's gonna be a high scoring game. Don't think it's be lower scoring. Lots of sacks, lots of turnovers. I mean, you got two backups playing. What do you expect? Going into the next game, gonna have a little slower pace now. We have the Browns versus Jaguars. The Browns have had their ups and downs. They do not have Deshaun Watson. Jaguars. Okay. Nope. There we go. The Jaguars did lose their starting quarterback whenever he got injured during the game. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is questionable. With having Deshaun Watson out, that's big. He was limited practice Thursday, but that's big. Amari Cooper, concussion/ribs, wasn't spotted at practice, probably won't play. That's another big guy. Kareem Hunt, groin, limited. That's another big one. Denzel Ward, shoulder, limited. That's another big one. Juan Thornhill, calf, did not participate. That's huge to know. Marquez Goodwin, concussion, limited. Those are kind of iffy. Wyatt Teller's questionable. Nick Chubb's out. That's pretty impactful. There's some pretty key pieces for them, for the Browns that are out. Going to Jacksonville. Travis Etienne is questionable with ribs. That's going to be something to watch out for. He was limited. Zay Jones is limited. Trevor Lawrence was limited. Tyson Campbell was limited. Dearness Johnson, good backup, limited. Christian Kirk is out. Really looking. My main thing is, if Trevor Lawrence plays, which I'm under the assumption he will, give me the Jaguars. The Jaguars are still fighting for a spot, but at the end of the day, I just don't think that quarterback situation is going to help them at all for the Browns. I think that's what's going to be the ending thing. Like, if they don't have Thompson Robinson, if he's not playing, I think the Jaguars are going to win that game. It's going to be interesting to see because Myles Garrett is coming off the edge. But if Trevor Lawrence can kind of move around, they can kind of double team him, chip block him and stuff, I think they can win this game. Texans versus the Jets. Jets really aren't that well. Texans are a little better, but not as good as to be like a 9-1 team right now. That's what I'm saying. They're not that good, but they are a very good team. I do think one or two games goes the other way, or probably one game goes the other way. They could realistically be 8-4 right now. Going into it, the Houston Texans here, Dalton Schultz is questionable. Denzel Perryman is questionable. Jimmy Ward did not participate. Oh, actually, Dalton Schultz and Jimmy Ward didn't practice. Sheldon Rankins is questionable. Tank Dell was placed on injury reserve as of Tuesday. Kendrick Green. Key players to look at. Tank Dell, that connection is going to be interesting. A couple pieces missing on that offense to watch out for. Definitely a couple pieces to watch out for. They are playing away too. Now the Jets, haven't been too hot. So, I can see why people would pick the Jets. Aaron Rodgers is still out. Breece Hall is questionable. He expects to play on Sunday, but we really don't know if that's going to be a given. CJ Uzomah didn't practice or is on injury reserve. Quincy Williams is questionable. Corey Davis is out. Elijah Vera Tucker is out. Connor McGovern is out. Give me the Texans. I just think they're just better coached with the Texans roster. I think they are better coached and that they will beat the Jets away. Bengals versus Colts. It's already in the Bengals' favor. They're the favorites in this game. But to keep some things in mind if you are the Bengals that do go in your way and do go against your way, is the fact that Anthony Richardson is still on injury reserve. DeForest Buckner's questionable. So if you can have that run game going, I think you'll do pretty well. But other than that, and Joe Everett is out. Other than that, if you're the Bengals, you're thinking, okay, you probably want to run that football without DeForest Buckner being there. Cincinnati Bengals. Tyler Boyd is questionable. He's limited at practice. Joe Burrow's on injury reserve. I think the Bengals rely on that run game a little bit more. I think the Bengals do take advantage of, the Colts having a backup at quarterback, even though it is a relatively not too bad backup. I do think they take advantage of that without the athleticism of Anthony Richardson. I think they take this one at home. You have the Bills off of a bye against the Chiefs. The Chiefs did lose. I don't remember if the Bills lost or they had a bye week. The Bills had a bye week, and the Chiefs did lose. Going to the Buffalo Bills, however, we see that Dawson Knox injury reserve, Kaiir Elam injury reserve, Matt Milano injury reserve, Damian Harris injury reserve, Tre'Davious White injury reserve. Some key impactful players, but they do have other players at those positions to help soften the blow. Going to the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco didn't practice, is questionable, probably won't play. Nick Bolton, injury reserve. Davion Smith is questionable. McCall Hardman Jr. is on injury reserve. Justin Ross out. Other than that, man, Chiefs at home. I know the Bills are coming off of a bye. How well the Bills play? The Bills are 6-6. They've been kind of sluggish. I could see them win this one, but it's also hard for me to see the Chiefs lose back-to-back. It could happen. This is realistically possible, but give me the Chiefs. Chargers versus Broncos. The Broncos are coming off of a loss, a kind of disappointing loss. They were trending in the right direction. and then they just kind of their offense got stuttered against the Texans, and Russ didn't have too good of a game. He looked like old Russ and not older Russ, if that makes any sense. Greg Dulcich is on injury reserve. Tim Patrick, injury reserve. Other than that, nothing crazy. But if we see they are playing away against the Chargers, the one thing about the Chargers is they do score a lot of points. I don't think you want to, at this point, I don't think you want to put Russ in a shootout, especially after our last game. Some things to keep in mind. Nick Vannett, concussion, limited at practice. Palmer's out. Joey Bosa is on injury reserve. Mike Williams is on injury reserve. But they do have Keenan Allen. They do have the rookie they drafted. Even though he hasn't played well, this potentially is a game for him. My main thing is I just don't know how I feel about either team. Divisional game could go either way, but give me the divisional team at home. I could see the upset, and then, well, not really upset-ish. I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers were favored here. My main thing is, can they keep the lead? Because they'll probably score with Eckler, and they still have Keenan Allen, and the first-round pick they have. They can score, but it's can they keep the lead, and that's the question. But I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to give it to the Chargers. Dolphins versus Titans. Give me the Dolphins Monday night. Don't really have to look at that one. Ravens versus Rams. Give me the Ravens. With the bye week, I like that. You have the Raiders taking on the Vikings. Raiders are at home. If we scroll down to the Las Vegas Raiders, things to kind of watch out for. Max Crosby is questionable. Didn't practice Wednesday. No information on Thursday. Something to watch out for. If Max Crosby is on the defense, that's pretty huge. Other than that, nothing too crazy. Dalton Wagner, injury reserve, but that's more of not something too crazy. Scrolling up to Minnesota, and we see that where is Minnesota? How did I lose Minnesota? Here's Minnesota. Scrolling up, we do see Ed Ingram questionable. Jordan Hicks, linebacker, injury reserve. Kirk Cousins is on injury reserve still. Cam Akers is on injury reserve. Marcus Davenport's on injury reserve. Nothing really that you see that's crazy. They do have Adams back. They are away. They do have weapons. Give me the Vikings. I think with having Jefferson back, I think this offense is going to take a whole new step forward. Like they were back. I don't know if they'll still have the same connection as they did before, just because Dobbs hasn't played with Justin Jefferson. He hasn't had that connection that Kirk has built. But give me the Vikings. I think they just had too many weapons to handle for the Raiders to handle that, even though they are at home. We have the Falcons versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one, I think, is going to be a close one. Another close matchup. If we go to the Atlanta Falcons, scrolling all the way over here, they are lengthy amount. Something really to watch out for here is Jeff Okudah didn't practice Thursday, so he probably won't play, but there's still a chance he's probably going to be a game decision, questionable. AJ Terrell was a concussion, limited practice. Those concussions, they're kind of iffy. Sometimes they let them play, sometimes they don't. They've been really hard on them this year. So watch out, because AJ Terrell and Jeff Okudah could potentially both be out, as well as David Onyemata, who was held out of practice Wednesday. Those are some key pieces on that defense with Grady Jarrett out already. Like, if you have those, it's going to suck. Nate Landman didn't practice. Something also to watch out for. Other than that, nothing crazy. It's just those three key players, AJ Terrell, Jeff Okudah, and David Onyemata. If they don't play, they look a lot more favorable for Tampa Bay. Going on to Tampa Bay, they've had their ups and downs. They started out hot, and then they're cooling off. The Falcons have been the opposite, or they start off slow. Now they're starting to heat up a little bit. But it is, I believe, it's away. It's in Atlanta, so that does favor Atlanta. Scrolling if I can find them. Here we go. Jamel Dean didn't practice. That's something to watch out for. Devin White also didn't practice. Two things to watch out for if they don't play. That's pretty impactful. Vita Vea questionable. Cody Munch questionable. Ryan Jensen, he's been out. Man, it's tough. But not having those three players out, give me Tampa Bay. And that secondary takes a hit if they don't play. They haven't practiced all week. That's something to watch out for. Lions versus Bears, divisional game. Give me the Lions. I think the Lions really need to get on track. They should beat the Bears. The Bears are at home. I think it's going to be a closer game, but give me the Lions. Panthers versus Saints. Give me the Saints at home. Panthers aren't that good. The Saints really need another win. With more and more, as you saw last week, I don't know if some people tuned into that game. A lot of that bottom half of the domes were Lion fans. About 60% of the bottom half of the dome was Lion fans. Saints fans are upset. I think the pressure's starting to build. You're starting to see some words fired back between the coaching and the GM against the fans, but the players are against them. So you're looking at it as, okay, the coaching staff and GM need to step up. So I think there's a lot more pressure. I think they do get the job done, keeping the division at 6-7. All tied up. You have 49ers versus Seahawks. I think this is going to be a good game. Seahawks didn't come out with the win, but they did challenge the Cowboys a lot. Seahawks coming off of a semi-bye. You just have a couple extra days because they did play, I believe, Thursday night. 49ers, good win against the Eagles. They're trying to play catch-up. If we go to the Philadelphia Eagles, the 49ers, you see Elijah Mitchell's questionable. Armik Armstead is questionable, didn't practice, so did Elijah Mitchell either. Ray McLeod was on limited. Nothing crazy. Just some key backups that they like to use, and then a good starter. Going on to Seattle, Jamal Adams didn't practice. That's a pretty impactful player for them. Leonard Williams questionable. Jordan Brooks didn't practice. That's also another good player for them. Kenneth Walker didn't practice. Good running back for them. Zach Charbonnet didn't practice. Another good running back for them. Other than that, nothing crazy. Give me the 49ers at home. Both your running backs didn't practice. I think that's going to be something. I do like their offense. I just don't know if I don't know if Gino's going to be able to handle the pressure that the 49ers are going to give them. Cowboys versus Eagles. Cowboys have a little bit extra days. Eagles are coming off a loss. Cowboys are coming off of a win. But, defensively, you want to see a lot better because it's a defensive identity that the Cowboys have. So you want to see a lot better. If you're Dallas, you want to play clean football. If you're Dallas, you want to play clean football. If you're the Eagles, you want to keep that defense on the field. You want to keep that offense off as much as possible. Keep that defense on the field and tire them out. Some things to watch out for. Julio Jones, who was non-participant, he's not really that third-string receiver was an upgrade. He's a better overall receiver than who they had before, but he is older. So, a non-participant, groin injury, something to watch out for. Justin Evans is on injury reserve. Nakobe Dean is on injury reserve. Other than that, that's about it. Going to Dallas. Sorry, it's taking me so long. That's Cowboys. Kind of looking at CJ Goodwin, injury reserve, something to watch out for. Leighton Vander Esch still on injury reserve. Trevon Diggs still on injury reserve. Overshawn still on injury reserve. Give me the Eagles away. I just think the Eagles have such good receivers, have such a good 1-2 punch at the receiving core, and a good tight end, and a good run game. I feel like if the Cowboys kind of play a little off like they have done before, I feel like that's going to put them in a bad situation. You have to play good man football, good tight coverage football against the Eagles. That's kind of how you neutralize them, is when you can really stick with them. You don't want to let these receivers get in space. AJ Brown's their best contested receiver. But I mean, if you double him, it kind of takes him out the game. The one thing about the Eagles is they don't have a third receiver. So you can make them one-dimensional. It's really hard. Your best bet is to pressure Jalen Hurts and make him make a mistake. But even so, that's hard in itself. The Eagles like to run the ball, so you got to stop the run too. It's a lot of factors that fall into it, and I just don't think the Cowboys at home will get the job done. But they are at home, so I could see it going the other way, letting that be known. Packers versus the Giants. I like what the Packers did against the Chiefs, but Giants do have a bye. Going to Green Bay. Eric Stokes on injury reserve. Jair Alexander's limited practice, something to watch out for. Rashawn Gary, limited practice. Darnell Savage, limited practice. Oh, no, Darnell Savage, did not practice, something to watch out for. Devondre Campbell, limited practice. Kay Walker didn't practice. So a lot of key pieces on that defense. Christian Watson didn't practice. Aaron Jones, limited practice on Thursday. Luke Musgrave didn't practice. David Bakhtiari didn't practice. A lot of players for the Packers that are really key players for them. Going to the New York Giants. The good thing for the Packers is, or the bad thing for the Giants is, you don't have a starting quarterback. Dexter Lawrence, hamstring, limited. Tyrod Taylor, was listed at full participant on Thursday estimated injury report, but he still is on injury reserve. Isaiah Simmons, questionable. Daniel Jones is out. Darren Waller is out. Evan Neal's questionable. Wyatt Davis. My main thing is you have both of your starting quarterbacks out. Give me the Giants. Give me the Packers, even though they are away. Even though the Giants did have a bye. Give me the Packers. I think they're really going to do something. Going in the AFC for the first seed, I have the Miami Dolphins at 10-3. Then I have the Bills at 6-7, the Jets at 4-9, and the Patriots at 2-11. I have the Baltimore Ravens with the second seed at 10-3, the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 6th seed at 8-5, the Browns with the 7th seed at 7-6, and the Bengals at 7-6. I have the Chiefs with the 3rd seed at 9-4, the Chargers at 6-7, the Broncos at 6-7, and the Raiders at 5-8. I have the Jaguars at 9-4, the Texans with the 4th seed, the Texans with the 5th seed at 8-5, the Colts 7-6, and the Titans 4-9. I have the Eagles with the 1st seed at 11-2, the Cowboys with the 5th seed at 9-4, the Giants at 4-9, the Commanders at 4-9. I have the 49ers with the 2nd seed at 10-3, the Rams at 6-7, the Seahawks at 6-7, and the Cardinals at 3-10. I have the Lions at 10-3 with the 3rd seed. I have the Vikings with the 6th seed at 7-6, the Packers with the 7th seed at 7-6, and the Browns at 4-9. I have the Buccaneers with the 4th seed at 6-7, the Falcons at 6-7, and the Saints at 6-7, with the Panthers at 1-12. That's what I have. Let me know what you agree with. Let me know what you don't agree with. Are there any things you think I got right? Are there any things you think I got wrong? What are your opinions on certain players? Do you think some teams have better backups that will step up and win them the game? Or do you think it's the other way that I'm overrating some backups? I'm overrating some players. Let me know. Thank you all for watching, and I will see y'all next time.